We got to talk about the big news around the Major League Baseball today. And with that, we prep to bring in our noted Angels expert, HalosToday.com. The Angels are no longer on the market because Arte Moreno said, yeah, I'm going to keep the team instead, which you started feeling the cold feet. I mean, weeks after, at most weeks after he announced that he's going to sell the team. But there's little nuances, little things to talk about this. Of course, there's a Shohei Ohtani impact. There's going to be, hey, is Mike Trout want to get the hell out of there? But Mr. Noah, give us some thoughts on this. We know there was about 6 interested buyer groups. Yeah. What's the reaction? What's going on? What's the latest news out of Halos country? That's right.
So first of all, if you want to check out a lot of stuff about Ohtani coming out on HalosToday.com.
As usual.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a bit of a surprise, even though people did have some sort of feeling that this could potentially happen. I mean, Rob Manfred confirmed it was going to happen at the winter meetings. A bunch of experts, including John Heyman just recently, like a few days ago, Bob Nightingale a few days ago had an article that said the sale's going well. So it does seem like,
of course, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but it does seem like a lot of people thought this was coming. So yeah, I mean, the big thing that comes out of this is, what does this mean for Shohei Ohtani? Obviously, Moreno was there when Ohtani came in 2017, but Moreno has never exceeded the luxury tax as an owner, which is something that in today's baseball you kind of have to do to compete at this point. You see what the Padres are doing, the Mets are doing. Obviously, this year the Dodgers are different, but in the past they've always done it. I mean, you have to spend money to compete. So it does there was a lot of hope around Angels fans that a new owner, one of the 6 buyers was a Japanese-led ownership group, so you think the ties to Ohtani. The hope was they'd come in, bring a lot of money. They were going to spend $2.5 billion, so they're going to spend another $500 million to keep Ohtani, but Moreno hasn't shown that willingness. So you kind of think this could spell the end of Ohtani in Anaheim if, one, they come out flat next year, which is a possibility. They have had a decent offseason, but with the Angels, you never know. Yeah. And 2, if Moreno doesn't show any reason or any willingness to spend a lot. So this definitely makes things interesting for Ohtani and the Dodgers.
It's definitely been, obviously now we're running an Angels site that gives us a lot more opportunity to gain insight on the team. I think it's been, if somebody's an Angels fan, withdrawing or disregarding all the sale news, that adds to the excitement. But it's been a pretty exciting offseason for the Angels. But yeah, you got Drury, you already have some pieces in place. You got a hopefully healthy Anthony over there in third base. Tony Two Bags. It's an exciting opportunity, or the feeling of an exciting offseason. It also feels like it's the first time Artie has been hands off from his GM.
Yeah.
Which is clutch, but what are your thoughts on it? What are the initial DMAC reactions?
Announced Shohei to the Dodgers already. Future Dodger confirmed. But no, I think there's a couple ways you can look at this. If you're an Angel fan, you're probably crying more than JP did in Angels in the outfield today, because it means that Arte Moreno is going to stay as the owner. But there's a couple ways I look at this. Is this Angels team with Perry Manayasin, he's made some really nice moves. He's got out from underneath a lot of those albatross contracts. He's building this organization around pitching at the big league level and at the minor league level. But I think, Noah, you brought up the best point, is the fact that he hasn't exceeded that luxury tax. And if you want to build a winner and show Shohei Ohtani that you're committed to winning a World Series, you have to make that financial investment. We know that Mike Trout, he's been held hostage there. He's the guy who signed the deal, so he pretty much made his own bed. But I think if you're Shohei Ohtani, you say to yourself, if the number one priority is winning, in the short term, if you look at my prime, yes, I'm on the right side of 30. How many World Series can I win in my actual prime if you're Shohei Ohtani? I think if it's long term, maybe you say, yeah, Perry Manayasin, he can build a winner and maybe make this organization look like it's the Braves West, but it's going to take some time. And I think if you're Shohei Ohtani, I think this pretty much seals the deal that he's going to be with another organization. If I was Arte Moreno, I would have already made Shohei the biggest contract extension offer in American sports history. And if he rejects it, then the wheels are in motion with a potential trade. Now, one theory that I was thinking about when this news was revealed is that, look, I mean, this is a guy in Moreno that bought this team for $183 million, and I'm sure he had a number in mind. Would that be $2.25 billion, $2.3 billion? Once he didn't get that number, what if he takes it off the market, tries to sign Shohei Ohtani, and then he puts it back on the market with Shohei Ohtani signed? Is the value of the team that much more? I mean, that's something that I
if
pondered.
we're talking about numbers in the $2.5 billion range, he was going to get his money. I think either way. I don't know if it's a valuation thing. I mean, the only way it gets more valuable is that, Shohei's locked in and a stadium upgrade or a new stadium is locked in, then you're good. But also, I mean, if I'm a new owner interested in buying a team for this much money, I would kind of want the ability to go, kind of pick my own stadium to the best of my, opportunity or ability or whatever. But, I think ultimately it just came down to he never really wanted to sell, and he probably just kind of talked to somebody. Yeah, I'm thinking about selling, and then the news got out there, and he kind of just had to run with it until he basically was able to be like, nah, I'm gonna keep the team now. Okay, bye.
I mean, one interesting thing from the Angels offseason is they had a lot of one-year deals. They traded for Gio Urshela and Hunter Renfroe, both on expiring contracts. So it did kind of seem like they were all planning. GM Perry Maniason was planning on a new owner coming in, and they wanted to somewhat have clean books aside from, Trout, Rendon, Ohtani. So you have to think that their offseason, at least from Maniason's perspective, has definitely been kind of altered a little bit because he was making all these short-term one-year deals with the thought of a new owner coming in and having his own say, and now that's not happening. So it definitely makes things very interesting. As of now, they have a lot of money to two players, and Ohtani and Trout and Rendon, and that's it. So they have the money for Ohtani, but I personally don't see them end up spending it because I just think they're going to get outbid by Dodgers, Padres, Mets, Yankees, and the list goes on. So it'll be interesting.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, no, let me ask you this. You think this makes this more or less likely that we see an Ohtani trade during the season?
Exactly what I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's the other part of it because there was a lot of talk about it, but you can't trade him if you're not going to have – you can't trade him before selling the team because if you trade him and he's not even – you can't even possibly sign him, that totally depletes the value. So now you think the Angels come out slow. Let's just say in June they're 10 games under 500, something like that. They're out of the playoff race. I think it makes it much more likely Ohtani gets traded. And again, if they come out winning, there's no way he gets traded. If they're even close to competing for playoff spot, which is very possible with their roster right now.
Should be.
But they are in a really tough AL West, so that's something to think about.
They don't need to play. They need to be competing.
Yeah, they're not going to win the division.
The Blue Jays,
the
Twins, the White Sox,
the Angels in the
White
playoffs.
Sox. Yeah, it's going to be a wild card. So if they're around 500 competing for a spot, he's not going anywhere. But now, if they are losing, and if there is all right, we're not going to make playoffs this year, and Ohtani's going to walk, I think it's pretty likely he gets traded. And I think the Dodgers, with their farm system, with the cap that they've cleared, they're going to be at the forefront of that. Because even though trading for Ohtani doesn't necessarily mean you're for sure going to re-sign him, you're getting that that advantage of having 3 months of Ohtani, of showing him what it's like to be on the Dodgers, showing him what it's like in the clubhouse, showing him how much the fans are going to love him. So even though there's no guarantee you're going to re-sign him, you're at least kind of getting the advantage over the Padres and the Mets, who are now just going to try to throw money at him and say, I promise you'll like it here, but the Dodgers can really show him that.
Yeah. Another thing to talk about quickly is beyond our reactions around baseball, fans, especially Angels fans, they feel like the rug was pulled out from under them. Moose here, Moose 1032 on YouTube says, my good friend is an Angel fan. He was so upset. He said he felt like he was led on. I had a friend on Twitter. I saw him tweet that I'm now a team free agent. I'm looking for my new team fandom. People were very excited to hear that Arte effing Moreno was going to be gone, and now he's like, I just kidding. The reactions are not happy.
LOL, JK.
Does he need to go out there and make a signing to win the fan base back?
Who's
Michael
left?
Wacha might as well.
Michael Wacha is like the best free agent left. I mean, at this point, it's like too late in the offseason to make a splash signing. Maybe even like a trade. I mean, who knows?
I just don't think really. I don't think they're going to go that route either. I think they're going to hope that maybe they can get off to a really good start and really sell him on the future of that franchise. But when you consider the fact that this is Arte Moreno, you just use the Angels in the postseason the same sentence, which really should be a crime. And you consider the fact that the Angels have only had an above 500 season once since 2015. He's only made it past the DS twice since taking over as the owner. If we're being completely honest, you cannot trust Arte Moreno to build an owner. But like like you mentioned earlier, he is taking some of the decision making off and putting into Perry Moniason's hands. And I think
Finally,
that
which is needed to do for years.
But I think it's too
'Cause
little,
he did
too
that
late.
with
Though.
Epler. He did that with I can't remember the other guy's name. There's been so many GMs over the last 10 years. Yeah. It's been embarrassing, but
it's too little, too late, though. I mean, I think Ohtani needs to do the right thing for his career, and that is be a Los Angeles Dodger. I think that's the only move. But I do think
rookie mistake.
LA. But I will say though, if you mentioned you might want to put the Angels in a position where you let the new ownership decide if they want to trade Ohtani. You want to allow them to make their pitch to see if you can sign them long term. But we saw the Nationals. The Nationals, they were undergoing some ownership changes, trying to sell the team, and they still trade away Juan Soto. Because if you're that new owner, do you want to say, all right, first move, trade Ohtani.
Yeah.
First move, not sign Ohtani. I think if I'm an owner and I'm buying that team, I'm saying to myself, we can't let a player of Ohtani's magnitude get away with just a qualifying offer. You have to get more than that for him, or that to me is organizational malpractice.
You know, Dodger fans have also kind of experienced some version of that in the past. You know, this is before your guys' day a bit, but you know, when Frank McCourt was buying the team, hey, who was the big guy on the free agent market? Vladimir Guerrero. He ended up going to the Angels. He wanted to be a Dodger essentially. Would have been phenomenal as a Dodger. Who knows? In 04, maybe they could have won because it was a pretty good club as it was. You want to have, as somebody buying a new team, you know money's going to be one part of it, but you want to have the best product on the field as possible. So it's terrible that he's keeping it, but also I can understand why he wants to keep the team.
I mean, this was their first good offseason in a while. He now wants to put his name on that.
Yeah. And he didn't go out and go like, no, I want Vernon Wells. And he didn't do something stupid like he's done
sat back and
year
let
after
smart
year.
moves come.
Yeah. He didn't need to go sign 5 more outfielders. So that's
go to Halos today to check out more.
That's our Angels thoughts. Thank you. Angels Insider at Noah Camrus, also Dodgers Insider. We got more of the show.